Yo, listen. Before you go any further in this video, click that subscribe button. Peace.
Yep, you heard right. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, man. Welcome back. Thank you again for tuning into another video on my K-Swap CRX rebuild that we are doing. Today, we're actually going to be working on mounting the passenger side Hasport Motor Mount. If you guys know, when you go K in a EF, you have to delete the factory motor mount that sits just about there, and the K motor mount sits just about here. So I'm going to go ahead and run into the container, grab that box of the Hasport motor mounts, and show you guys exactly what we're talking about. So here's the box of the mounts. Here is the piece that we are going to be using and needing. Let's show you guys what's up. So you'll notice here, again, passenger side, we have a threaded hole there and another threaded hole there. And on the mount itself, you've got a hole right there and a hole there. I had it upside down, but you understand. So with those factory holes, we're gonna line this up to it. One will be there, and one will sit down at this hole here, like so. You see it lines up right there. And then that one will line up as well. And then what is also recommended is once you put those bolts is to stitch weld around the motor mount. So you want to probably put a couple of stitch welds down here. You want to put some underneath here, here, up the side, here, and if you can, no, nothing on the back side. So, you know, pause. All along the outside edge, you want to do a couple stitch welds. But first, what I'm going to go ahead and do is grab the bolts that actually are going to be tightening that up, that are going to be mounted there, and then I'll grab a pencil and run along the whole edge so that I know what I need to sand down, remove the paint so that it's bare metal, and be able to stitch weld to that. So I went ahead and grabbed two 12mm bolts that I have here in my container and mounted it. And you will notice that there's a little bit of surface rust on the mount itself. It's because it comes raw. It's not powder coated, it's not painted or anything of that nature, for the reason that they know that you're going to be welding this on to the chassis itself. I did hand tighten them enough where this is not moving. So now I'll just take this I'll just take this pencil and I'll just trace around the outer edge so that I know and I have a guideline. There you can see the outer line that I made. So now I'm going to take this wire wheel and remove the paint all around that line that I just made. Now you can go ahead and see what I did. Where I made those lines before, I went ahead and removed the paint. So now I will go ahead and test fit it one more time just to make sure I have good coverage around it, so that my spot welds have, you know, good clean paint. Good clean metal to weld to. You can see now I'm lined up. I got good spots. I got good clean metal all the way around it to where I could lay my stitch welds. So now I will go ahead and do the same what I just did to the frame. I'm going to do it to this mount as well, and then wipe both areas down with paint thinner just to make sure we have no grease, oils, or anything like that on either surface. You can see now all along the edges it's much shinier because I went ahead and took the wire wheel and wired that off. Then I went ahead and took the acetone, wiped down the entire mount, wiped down that entire area. Next step that I did forget to mention was the sprayable primer. So I am going to hit that area there and the mount with this weld through primer. I'll let that sit for 10-15 minutes, then go ahead and start our welding. To make it dry a little bit quicker, I'm going to go ahead and grab my heat gun and heat the whole area so that it dries up much quicker and we don't got to wait so dang long. She is dried up enough. We'll go ahead and put these 12s back into place. I got like 1 or 2 more spots to do and then I'll be done. Ladies and gents, I definitely got to work on my welding skills. So, even though it was welded, what I went ahead and did was grind it down, because what I want to do next is actually put seam sealer all along that corner, just to make it look a little bit smoother than what it looks like right now. But yes, man, it came out all right. I know I could have done better, but as long as it's nice and sturdy and it's not going anywhere, that is my main priority and the main objective of this project today. Like I said, I'll go ahead and now put seam sealer all the way around that edge to make it look smoother, and then I want to go ahead and just hit it real quick with the primer. There you have it, ladies and gents. That is the finished product. I went ahead and put the seam sealer all the way around it, nice and cleanly. So now I'm going to go ahead and let that dry completely, and then I'll come back and hit that with some, just the basic primer that I normally use, just so that there's no bare metal. I think with that being said, this puppy is ready to go for paint. That's crazy to say that, because it's been such a long and tedious process. If you've been following from the jump, you already know how crazy this build has been, and I've done it all myself, learned a lot, and I still have a lot to learn, but I'm proud to say that I did it by myself. A few people would come by and help every so often with certain projects, but for the most part, this is pretty much me. Now, the only thing I do know that I need to do before it does go to paint is remove this guy, which is rusty as hell, and that guy, because I already have 2 newer ones. Well, new/old. Once those get removed, that's it. She's done. She's going to paint. So like I said, we'll go ahead and let that motor mount dry completely, and then I will probably off camera come back and give this whole entire engine bay a good washing and send her off. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and as always, guys, chase the dream, not the competition. Peace.